Hello, Furnaces North America fans. This is Tom Morrison back in Nashville, Tennessee at the home office, and we are so excited to be back here again for another edition of FNA Technical Showcase, where we're showcasing some of our key sponsors that help make Furnaces North America a world-class event where you're going to see the best in trends, technology, equipment, everything. It's a who's list of who's going to be at Furnaces North America in October 3rd through the 5th in Indianapolis, Indiana. So today, I'm pleased to announce we have Bob Fincken from Super Systems. Bob, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
So, Bob, y'all are really good at what y'all do in the world of probes, analyzers, data management, all kinds of things for heat treaters out there. So when you look at what's been going on in recent years coming out of COVID, people have to get more efficient because of the labor shortage, right? Got this huge labor shortage thing. So it's imperative that they get great data, great reads, so they can really make decisions without a lot of people management involved in that. So what are you seeing coming out of your world of expertise that are making heat treaters more efficient in their plant operations?
We're seeing a lot of demand in three categories overall. So those three I'll define as the first one being automation. The automation is there because people don't have enough labor to perform the tasks required in the heat treat. So the automation helps out with whether it be movement of a charge car or the automation of the loads, moving through a furnace, anything with automation. That also helps reduce rework and improves the process control and everything. The second phase would be the tracking part of it. So tracking of loads, whether it be through the plant or through a specific furnace. The tracking allows the customers to actually look at what's happening in their facility and make measurements regarding how long they're in a certain area. And then that kind of comes up to data collection. The data collection part of it is we kind of look at it as you can never have enough data.
Right.
And what we're talking about here is just points of whether it be temperature or gas flows or current flow to a furnace, and then using that data for calculations. So there's some new tools out in the software that can actually get you to the point where you can calculate cost per load, cost of energy usage, things like that.
So do you have any specific case studies or things that you could talk about? Because I think automation is the heat treaters that figure automation out. Because, the big thing that people talk about is if we did this, that's all we did. It'd be easy to automate a robot to do that. But, obviously in a heat treat plant, especially a job shop, they're doing this and all of a sudden they're loading something up here. And so the jobs are very different. So I think whoever can figure out automation at any level, whether it's administration on the line, are going to be the big winners the next 10 years. I mean, any specific areas of automation that you can share about what you're seeing?
To me, we're still trying to figure some of that out. Robotics in general aren't necessarily prevalent in the industry at this point.
Right.
It's such a diverse nature of what needs to happen in the heat treat. So robots performing tasks, they can be there, but they're not quite there yet. So overall, the automation part of it is more to do with what happens with the product when it's in the furnace, going to the furnace, coming out of the furnace, to ensure you don't have rework, to ensure you meet the specifications that are out there. I mean, I'll talk about like AMS 2750 and the new Rev G that just came out. It caused a lot of issues with 1/10 of a degree that we now have to data log and show proof of process with that.
I was in those meetings and those discussions. That was pretty big conversation going on.
Yep. Some people refer that, as almost like the Y2K adventure of years
ago.
Yeah. And now that we got the Rev G out and we have another year to provide the information in that format, it gives our customers a little bit of a reprieve. So they don't feel like they have to resolve it now. But that kind of automation and that kind of data collection is where we're at this point. Moving forward with automated lines, there were some lines in the 90s that actually had automated charge cards and cages around the furnaces. Those seem to be coming back a bit.
Yeah.
Because of the somebody still has to put the load in the basket,
right?
Place it onto the charge card. So we don't have robots performing that task. But as far as movement of the load to the associated equipment, it's a big deal.
Well, I heard someone say not too long ago that if we could figure out robotics and fixturing, we would have it made.
Yes.
So, but I think you bring up a good point, because there's two sides to automation. I think there's the robotics machinery side that blends robotics and machines with human labor that help get more output and throughput. Then there's also more efficient data information that comes from companies like you that helps the humans be more effective, because they're not doing rework. They're not doing more stuff. They're actually able to push through more because they're actually able to make good decisions based upon the data that they're getting. So I think that's a good part of the automation. So I don't want you to let the cat out of the bag, but everybody always comes to Furnaces North America and they're so excited about something new, something big they're willing or wanting to unveil. So what would that be with Super Systems? What are you excited about to unveil at the at Furnaces North America?
We're excited for a number of reasons. We have some hardware because of COVID that has been out for quite a while, but the fact that the in-person type meetings have been difficult, that we feel that this new hardware and some software will be beneficial, especially seeing it in person.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, we have our eFlow line of flow meters. The eFlow line is very comprehensive now, and it's got a look and feel that is the same among all of the flow meters, whether it be an analog gauge meter or a totally automated meter that uses electronics, has a built-in web page, and controls just about any gas you can think of on your furnace. Secondarily, we have a controller we call the Matrix. The Matrix is our new modular controller that provides a little bit of improvement in the fact that now you can choose modules to build your controller. So it's
right.
not, it's kind of a PLC based type system where if you have an issue with a module or you want to add an analog output or an analog input, you can just add a module. And then lastly, all that ties to our SuperData Pro software. And our SuperData Pro software, we have a module that we have been using now for a couple of years. We call that Load Entry 3, obviously the third iteration of it. Load Entry 3 not only gives you the information that allows you to track a part through a furnace, associates a recipe with the part, but it also tracks downtime or reasons that a furnace is not functioning. So we can offer reports for maybe you have to do SATs on your furnace, or maybe there's some maintenance you have to do on your furnace. And now management can look at those reports and look at the percentage of downtime, the percentage of utilization for those furnaces overall, which really helps the decision makers, I think.
Right. So my big question, when you say the Matrix, I mean, who came out with that name? But the big question is, one of the modules named Neo.
No, we don't break it down that far, but the Matrix, yeah, we were tossing that around a few years back and it kind of stuck, and we like it because it's a good popular name and obviously associates with other things out in the market.
Right. So one of the big questions I like to ask suppliers specifically coming to furnaces is, what is it that you like about coming to Furnaces North America?
Overall, for me, specifically with this conference we're going to have now, it's been quite a while. There's been some other shows and people have gone to them, but Furnaces North America is a big show. We get to see our customers, a lot of our friends, our competitors as well. And just that relationship building and the networking that takes place is a big deal, especially when you haven't been out and about and looking at those kind of things. This furnace show is specific to our industry. We really like associating with everybody that's involved. And there's good relationships there that we enjoy. And even going out and having a beer, after the show, that kind of thing. It's a very good atmosphere and can be very productive for business concerns.
Well, when you think about it, since Furnaces 2018, because it's been 4 years since the show. A lot of people have gotten out to be able to be a part of a show and see the latest and greatest. And when you've got 125 to 150 top suppliers in one room, and you could go see them all in 2 days, man, what a value proposition that is for any heat treater trying to learn what's coming next in the industry. And so with that said, so commercial and captive heat treaters that will be seeing this and watching this, I mean, from your perspective, if they're considering coming to furnaces and haven't made up their mind, what would be the invite? What would you say to them as to why they need to come to this event?
In my opinion, something we just went through a management class here at SSI, and one of the things that came out of that was you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So, to me, that's the biggest reason. Is there are innovations that are taking place monthly, yearly that you need to be aware of. And if you haven't seen those innovations and haven't looked at what's available, that's the biggest reason in my mind, because this industry, as far as technology is concerned, has always been a bit behind, I would say, overall. But in the last couple of years, we are moving forward at an accelerated pace with our offering, and I'm sure everybody else is too. And we are finally capable of doing some things that other industries have been doing for quite a while.
Right. Well, for me, I think the big, and you hit on a lot of key points. And the biggest one, I think, is the fact that we have this labor shortage with us for probably the next 8 to 10 years. Finding out the latest technology that can get the most output out of your plant is vital. And you can do that at furnaces. So, Bob, one, appreciate y'all for being a title sponsor of Furnaces North America. I know y'all got a technical session going on. I know we'll be promoting that and people will come to that. And we just thank y'all for being a big supporter of FNA. So people, everyone, captive and commercial heat treaters listening to this, this FNA technical showcase, you will want to be there in Indianapolis, Indiana on October 3rd to the 5th and see this 35 technical sessions, as well as over 125 to 150 top suppliers on everything you can imagine that can impact your plant. So be there. For more details, you just go to furnacesnorthamerica.com and you can reserve your hotel room. You want to do that fast, it will sell out, and you can register for the event. So thank you very much for attending, and we look forward to seeing you in Indianapolis.
Yes, thank you too.